from our side to fight an endless fight. Sunlight, oh sunlight. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Songs of Faith Sunday. My name is Chris Wilson. Thank you guys so much for watching out there. We're very excited because, and by we, I mean me, I am very excited that because there is a studio audience in here tonight, which is always just my favorite thing in the world. So give yourselves a round of applause so people can hear. So I said on the last show that it's important that the audience clap a little bit so people don't think I've just gone crazy and I'm pretending to sing to people. I got to play a show last night, which was it was really nice. It was a show, I think it was the 6th show that I've done in the last, outside of this building in the last year and a half almost, which is just insane that there would ever be a period like that. But it was so nice to sort of be out and do a concert, and people were lovely, and so I'm going to do a few of this. That was a Songs of Faith as well, what we did last night. So I'm going to do a few songs that I did last night, and I've sort of been focused lately on the old hymns again, because I find that the hymns are great because they're like this wonderful collection of music that just at any moment you can just sort of grab one and you can sort of look at it and just sort of hug it and see what it wants to sound like again, because these songs have sounded different. Every church congregation has sung them. They've been sung by choirs and soloists and all of these things, and they're almost just a beautiful canvas, this wonderful library. I'm mixing metaphors all over the place, but yeah, it's just a wonderful thing to be able to access the tremendous language of the old hymns and stuff. So this one is written in 1912 by Charles Austin Miles, and this was requested all year long. All through the Songs of Faith, I kept getting this request week after week, and I knew the title of the song, and I never learned it. So finally, I felt guilty enough to spend some time, and I was like, oh my gosh, I love walking down the road that is this song. And so I'm going to play this one now. I come to the garden alone, while the dew is still on the roses, and the voice I hear falling on my ear, the Son of God discloses, and He walks with me, and He talks with me, and He tells me I am His own, and the joy we share as we tarry there, none other has ever known. He speaks, and the sound of His voice is so sweet, the birds hush their singing, and the melody that He gave to me within my heart is ringing, and He walks with me, and He talks with me, and he tells me I am his own. And the joy we share as we tarry there, none other has ever known. I'd stay in the garden with him, though the night around me be falling. He bids me go through the voice of woe. His voice to me is calling. And he walks with me, and he talks with me, and he tells me I am his own. And the joy we share as we tarry there, none other has ever known. And the joy we share as we tarry there, none other has ever known. Thank you so much. I don't know how I missed that song. I mean, that song is like, it's like one of the most beautiful songs ever written. And people were always like, do you play in the garden? And I was like, no. Just all these years. And I love this because, you only sort of get the joy of discovery, that's a special thing, when the joy of discovery, and it's one of the things I love about Scripture. It's one of the things I love about these Songs of Faith Sunday, because I just sort of walk down that road of my faith, and I love that you can sort of discover something that's been there forever. We do that all the time with our faith, and there's just this. I find that there's just this wonderful piece that, that this was always here. This wonderful thing was just always there, and it gives me this. It always gives me this inspiration that well, if that was always here and I didn't know, like, what's all around? What are these things that we can find all the time that God, He just sort of littered the earth with? That's in a bad word, but sprinkled the earth with all of these wonderful things, and through the art that people create, through the His works of nature, so many things. I'm playing this nylon guitar. I've been really blessed. I've had a few guitars gifted to me, and it's sort of inexplicable. I find it hard to even characterize sometimes, because it's overwhelming that somebody would do such a thing. And but what's funny is it gives me this. I feel like I have a responsibility to play these instruments and really invest in them and find, pull out whatever they're capable of. And this guitar is no exception. I'm finding songs in it lately, which is very special. This guitar was gifted to me by my dear, dear friends, Don and Maureen. We're actually supposed to be here tonight, but Maureen's not feeling very well. And so much love to you out there, Maureen, if you're watching. We just adore you. And every song that I'm playing tonight on this beautiful guitar is not indirectly a gift that you gave me. So thank you for that. And I love all the connections. This guitar came from Stutzman's Guitar Center. Dave and Margaret are sitting right in front of me right now. So all of you people out there, if you are from someplace outside of Rochester and thought, who are these people he's talking about all the time? You can't see them anyway, so it doesn't matter. Dave and Margaret have been such a support of me. I was thinking, you know, I don't know if you remember this. I have a story. I have a Stutzman story. I forgot when I'm trying to figure out how old I would have been. Maybe 18 or something like that. I raised money. I was trying to go to the World Championship of the Performing Arts out in Los Angeles, California. And it was this thing I had the opportunity to go. I actually ended up winning. But that's a whole other story. But I remember I was thinking, because one of the things you were supposed to do was go around and get people to support and fund you to do this. And I just couldn't, I didn't know, I'm not good at that. And I was like, who can I talk to? Who will? And I was so nervous. I said, well, maybe I'll go into Stutzman's and see if maybe they would want to support me in doing this. And I was so nervous. And I was like, because I always fumble. Like if I'm trying to ask for something, I'm like, if I'm just talking about something that I love or whatever, I can talk forever. But I just turn into a nervous wreck when I have to ask for anything. And I was so nervous, and I came up your steps, and I was just like, I'm just gonna say, hey, can I speak to Dave? Can I speak to Dave? I like rehearsed it. Is Dave here? Because we weren't like friends then at that point, and I didn't, and you came right out, and I said, Dave, I'm doing this thing. I'm going to the World Championship in the Performing Arts, and I didn't even make eye contact. I'm just like, I think we're supposed to ask people for stuff, but I don't know. You're probably not into that kind of thing and whatever. But I just did that for like 5 minutes, and at some point you just stopped and you just went back in your office and you came out with a check for $100, and I drove home so happy. I was so happy. And I always remember that. So I have all these great so you guys wonder why I tell my little Stutzman stories. They're sprinkled on the landscape of my life, and they're very meaningful to me. So. Okay, so we got a request that's coming in. Not technically a song of faith, but I think we should honor the Father's Day element here. So this is for Jessica. I haven't put this one together. I hope I don't ruin it.
Grandpa, tell me about the good old days. Sometimes it feels like this world's gone crazy. And Grandpa, take me back to yesterday, when the line between right and wrong didn't seem so hazy. Did lovers really fall in love to stay and stand beside each other come what may? Was a promise really something people kept, or just something they would say and then forget? Did families really bow their heads to pray? Did daddies really never go away? Whoa, whoa, Grandpa, tell me about the good old days. Grandpa, everything is changing fast. We call it progress, but I just don't know. Grandpa, let's wander back into the past and paint me a picture of long ago. Did lovers really fall in love to stay and stand beside each other come what may? Was a promise really something people kept, was it something they would say and then forget? Did families really bow their heads to pray? Did daddies really never go away? Whoa, whoa, Grandpa, tell me about the good old days. Did lovers really fall in love to stay, stand beside each other come what may? Was a promise really something people kept, just something they would say and then forget? Do families really bow their heads to pray? Daddies really never go away? Whoa, whoa, Grandpa, tell me about the good old days. Grandpa, tell me about the good old days.
That's a great song. Yeah. I had the privilege of sitting in this very room with Don Potter, and actually just sitting on the edge of the stage right here and playing some songs for him. And you know, he tells some great stories about his time. If you're not familiar with Don Potter, he was not only just a tremendous singer, songwriter in his own right from Rochester, but also ended up being one of the sort of pillars of the music behind the Judds. So he was their band leader for many years, and you know, all the guitar that you hear on all their records, you know, that's Don Potter. So I feel so blessed when those little connections happen. You know, the fact that I'm sitting on the stage singing that song right now, these just very, you know, very modest degrees of separation from you know, little puzzle pieces, you know. I love it. I got a request to sing Amazing Grace tonight. One of the things I just want to say is Happy Father's Day. I forgot to just say that straight up. You know? Thanks for spending your Father's Day here with us. And if you're watching, thanks for watching. I was very blessed this morning to receive some lovely gifts. I got some grilling tools that were much needed, and a C and a W branding iron for to brand the meat, which I'm very excited about.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm just gonna sing this one here. This song is so special. I can't imagine, so I'm gonna sing Amazing Grace now. This was requested here. And can you imagine how many people have a story about this song? I mean, you think when that song was written, and it was written by a former slave trader who was just looking back over his life and his deeds and just offering it all to God and redemption. I mean, how many stories? And I, as a storyteller, I'm always I get really excited about that. I look at my little suitcase collection, or sort of extensive suitcase collection, and I think about, where did all those suitcases go? Where have they been? How many, just one of them, had probably a visit to the in-laws, and there was a big fight at that particular Christmas, and you know what I mean? That wonderful vacation we took to Bermuda that year, and the whole family came, and it was and so for me, I always sort of see these stories, I connect to them. But I think when I sing Amazing Grace, I feel, I don't know, it's like I can almost feel all of those stories in it. Just think about that for a second. Every voice that's ever lifted that song to God, what a chorus that would sound like, So it's hard not to let it get me emotional. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. I was blind, oh, but now I see. Taught my heart to fear. In grace, my fears relieved. And how precious did that grace appear.
safe thus far. In grace, it'll lead me home. When we've been there 10,000 years, bright shining as the sun. We've no less days to sing God's praise than when we first begun. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found. I was blind, oh, but now Lord, I see. Thank you. Every time I think that song, sort of, I've played it out. I've played it, out the power of it or something. It's not going to affect me. Every time, every single time. That song. And this is just again my particular stories with that song. I was just singing it at some point when we decided that we could just not handle the crushing weight of what was going on in this building when we were trying to repair it and fix it. That was the prayer. That was the prayer that I used when I dragged my hand along every wall of this building and walked all the way up and all the way down, singing Amazing Grace, because I couldn't think of anything else to say that would be more powerful than that. I tried to come up with, and for me it was like that was the way to put my, that's the way, and it's actually, this is funny. When I grew up going to Catholic school, and I remember the nuns at the Catholic school that I went to, they were very, what's the word? They just were very ordered and disciplined, we'll say, and lovely, wonderful, and but that was the deal. But I remember Sister Margaret Mary telling me when I was a kid, she said, when she realized I was a singer, she said to me, that's really good, Chris, because when you sing to God, it's like praying twice. And it's funny because to this day, I just remember that. And, whether that's, accurate and, sort of a quantitative thing, I don't know, but it did make me think that there was power in whatever gift that he gave me, and I could use it if I gave it back to him, that maybe something special would be created. So I think about that, and that's another one of those thoughts, that one of those little stories that drifts into my head when I sing Amazing Grace. So just as another little side note, and for Songs of Faith, I think it's sort of perfect.
I had a notion at some point when I was, I don't know, a few years ago, and I was thinking about, even looking at some of the Bible stories, why, like, God's voice would just be too much for the human ear. Like if we actually heard like what he actually sounds like. So we have this language that he speaks to us in, and it's personal, I think, for everybody, a little different. And I had this notion one time that I don't know if I had actually physically done it, but I was thinking about a piano, or maybe I was sitting at one, and I took my arm and I just played all the notes at the same time. Like, have you ever done that to a piano? And so here are all these beautiful notes, and they're played individually and all tell an individual tale. But at once, if it's just too much. All the beauty's in there because everything's in there. Every note is there. And I thought that's what, to me, that was the perfect way I thought of God. Everything is there. So if we were to encounter it all at once, we wouldn't be able to decipher it, I think. It would just sound like, our heads would blow up or something. So each of these notes becomes that's the language that we can hear, these wonderful moments with God. At least that's how I characterize it. I mean, that's not, I didn't learn that in a theology class or anything like that. That's just for me as a musician. That was the individual. That was the way that I could interpret it. That made sense to me. Little nuggets for songs of faith. I always think that songs, for me, like I love to be able to just tell the stuff that sort of comes to my mind, and I don't know if it's, I'm not going to preach it as if it's, like a sermon or something, but these are the things that I find valuable, and I sort of just like to present them, and if maybe there's some value in it for you, I always think that would make me feel nice. All right. Father's Day, I wanted to sing if you watched one of the last shows I did, did I tell that story before? I think it was the audience beforehand where I went really deep and I told the story about my dad.
Yeah. Yes.
It's a mess. Maybe you were here, Augie. I think maybe you were here. I was talking. I don't think he was.
I
was talking. Somebody requested the song "Sunny."
Yeah.
Jack requested it, and I said, well, I just dug into one of the verses of "Sunny," to try to show people what the layers were in some of these songs, and I just went into this whole thing about my dad, and I was like, ugh, I almost had to be removed. My dad, he died a while back. And I'm going to do it again. I feel it coming. Don't do it. He passed away, though, before he and I were ever able to have a conversation that was anything other than small talk. And he and my mom were divorced when I was very young, 6 months old. And so this song really speaks to me. The first time I heard it, I was in the Christmas tree shops in Henrietta. It came on the overhead speaker, and do you remember that? I didn't introduce you.
I mean, that's true. We are 35 minutes in.
Well, it is Father's Day.
It is.
Maybe we should be saying. So maybe. But I'm in the Christmas tree shops in Henrietta. We are just shopping around, and I can see us over in the back left corner.
I remember it. Yep.
And the song came on the overhead, and I was like, "What? What is this song? I need to know this song. I need to play this song." I was like, crying. I'm not fun to hang out with generally. I think in a lot of ways because you don't really know what's going to happen with me. Well, maybe I am sort of fun in that regard.
Yeah, that's true.
But there's a good chance something embarrassing will happen. And I heard this song, and I couldn't believe it. And so I'm gonna sing this. It's a song by Mercy Me. And it's called "Finally Home."
Gonna wrap my arms around my daddy's neck, tell him that I missed him, tell him all about the man that I became, hope that it pleased him. So much I want to say, so much more I wanted you to know. When I finally make it home, when I finally make it home, then I'll gaze upon the throne of the King, frozen in my steps. All the questions that I swore that I would ask, words just won't come here. I'm so amazed at what I've seen, so much more than this soul of mine can hold. When I finally make it home, when I finally make it home, and the sweetest sound these ears have yet to hear, voices of the angels. When I finally make it home, when I finally make it home, when I finally make it home, when I finally make it home.
This guitar, speaking of redemption, was I did a show. Actually, at the same. It was ironically the same place that I played last night, but it was a year, like maybe 2 years ago, and I walked into the office of the place I was doing. I was speaking with the gentleman Frank, who was in charge of the Impact Theater group that had me come out and play, And I walked into his office, and this guitar, this old Gibson, like 1969, 1970 Gibson, was just leaning against a radiator. And for those of you who are familiar with acoustic guitars, that's not a good thing to do with them, generally. And it was all cracked and in pieces, and just a big old mess. And I talked with this Frank, and he said, you know, actually this guitar was it was a member of their congregation that went to their church, a man who loved music, and he had passed away, and they had possession of this guitar, which they were sort of using as a prop or as decoration, and I was just, you know, and it was all sort of cracked and it was unplayable, and he basically said I could have it, and which I was just so humbled, and so I gave this guitar to Dave, and he sort of brought it back to life, and you know, I just love stuff like that. This was leaning against a radiator, and I just played a song on it, you know. And I'm a sap. I just am. There's just no other way to characterize it, but I don't know. Stuff like that makes me happy. So if you would like to support what we're doing, we would be so grateful for that. This has been, you know, sort of our dream to sort of create something like this, and we just think that it's really important in today's society and culturally and everything that's going on for those of us who are in the entertainment sort of field. I just think it's more important than ever for us to create things that are designed to uplift and bring us together, and just be done with all of this divisive nonsense that's just happening everywhere, and so that's really our mission here, so if this is something that you would like to support and you're out there watching tonight, we would be very grateful for that, because really every dollar that we get just goes into taking care of this and this building and the things we try to do, and we have so many ideas that we would love to bring to fruition. So if that is something that you're inclined to do or able to do, you can go to www.chriswilson.us and make a donation. There's a donate button right there on the homepage, or an address if you'd like to send a donation that way. So thank you so much for that. Okay. So this one is for you, my dear. Last night I was playing this show. I just told the audience here before we started. By the way, if you want to come and attend one of these tapings, please do. We would love to have you here. And you get a little half an hour pre-show if you come beforehand, where I'll just play whatever you want. And we chat a little bit and get to know each other. And I was telling about last night, this show that I played, and I said, does anybody have a request? And everybody sort of, you know, looked around and tried to figure out if they had one. But there was this one gentleman right off the front of the stage who threw out a request instantly. He was right on top of it, and he went, "It is well with my soul." And he threw that right at me, and I said, you see, that's the key, audience. I said, you have to have the song at the ready. You have to be ready with your requests, like right there. And I said, and he was ready. He had it like side holstered, and he just went, pow! And I realized that was probably not the best way to characterize that particular song. And so after my apologies, I played the song, and so I finished, and about 2 or 3 songs later, I said, does anybody have any request? And the entire audience just went, blah, 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 like, without any hesitation, and I couldn't decipher any of those requests. So anyway, you guys got to hear that story twice.
when peace like a river attendeth my way, when sorrows like sea billows roll. Whatever my lot, thou hast taught me to say, it is well with my soul. It is well with my soul. It is well with my soul. Though Satan should buffet, though trials shall come, let this blessed assurance control, that Christ has regarded my helpless estate, and hath shed his own blood for my soul. And it is well with my soul. It is well with my soul. My sin know the bliss of this glorious thought, my sin not in part but the whole, is nailed to the cross, and I will bear it no more. Praise the Lord, oh my soul. It is well with my soul. It is well with my soul. Oh Lord, haste the day when my faith shall be sight, the clouds be rolled back as the scroll, the trump shall resound, and the Lord shall descend. Even so, it is well with my soul. It is well with my soul. It is well with my soul. It is well with my soul.
Thank you. I'm going to sing. You had requested, for those of you who are out on watching on YouTube tonight, once again, our unofficial president of the YouTube fan club, Augie, is here. And
MJ is here this time.
exactly.
too.
I mean, you guys are
MJ.
like, you guys are the real deal here. So, but you had asked for me to do that particular version of the Our Father, which is probably a good one to do on Father's Day. The story that I tell with this one is just that my mom at some point, as the leader of the music group at our church, had taken the music from the song Today While the Blossoms Still Cling to the Vine, that she had taken the tune from that and she put the Lord's Prayer to it, and it fit perfectly. And somehow she got credit for doing that for a while. I remember, but it was really nice. I always think that that's kind of a cool thing when you can sort of do that. When you take the Lord's Prayer, and it's almost like you set it on, you set that lyric on a vehicle that people are already familiar with, So it just sort of, it goes right in, And so I actually really love this version a lot. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy most holy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us all from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Well, thank you very much. So that happened to me as well. I was, for my second Songs of Faith album, I wanted to record the song The Prayer, and which is just such a spectacular song. And so I start putting it together, and I'm singing it through, and I had only known it a little bit. Like, I didn't know all of the lyrics at the time when I decided I wanted to do this. So I remember sitting down, I said I would go to the computer and just listen to some different versions of it, see how I wanted to put it together. And I got to the section where Bocelli just starts singing in Italian, and I'm like, I can't do that. I thought, well, I could maybe do it, but I think I would sound sort of silly because I couldn't do the, you got to do the accent. You can't just, there's a thing when you sing in Italian, which I do not possess. So I was like, and I was sort of into it at that moment. Like, I had already sort of gone far enough with it that I had to record this song. I had to put this together. and I just took the Lord's Prayer and I stuck it in. I shouldn't say it like that, but I gently placed it over the melody that was there in Italian, and it fit perfectly. I couldn't believe it. I was so excited about that. So maybe I'll finish with that tonight, and that'll be a good one to do. I pray you'll be our eyes and watch us where we go, and help us to be wise in times when we don't know. Let this be our prayer when we lose our way. Lead us to a place, guide us with your grace, to a place where we'll be safe. I pray we'll find your light and hold it in our hearts. When stars go out each night, I know you will take our part. So let this be our prayer when shadows fill our day. Lead us to a place, guide us with your grace, give us faith so we'll be saved. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy most holy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. I pray we'll find your light, watch us from above. We ask that life be kind and watch us from above. I'm going to do that verse again. We ask that life be kind and watch us from above. We hope each soul will find another soul to love. So let this be our prayer, just like every child needs to find a place, guide us with your grace, and give us faith so we'll be That is the danger of doing a song that you weren't prepared to do, is that you might do something like that. But, you know, we're all friends here. That's how I think of it. Well, God bless you all. Thank you so much for joining us here at the barn tonight and out there in cyberspace. Sweetie, I'm sorry. I left you hanging tonight. We barely had a conversation here.
I know. It's
I feel
okay.
like...
It's all right.
Am I being called out by the people at home?
There
Like
might have been a few, but
a few. Just
no big deal.
he's ungrateful. Well, I am grateful for you on this Father's Day, and I'm grateful for all of your many, many talents.
Thank you.
And well, okay. So when this Wednesday night, is it this Wednesday night? Is it finally this one? It's not.
No, honey,
What's
it's
wrong
not.
with me? Why can't I get that right? It's the 30th, right?
It's the 30th. Yeah.
Well, so this Wednesday is just another Wednesday night, and then Paul Simon. I'm very excited about Paul Simon.
I
That's
can
what it is.
tell, yeah.
Just so you know, I'm sort of excited about him. Prime the pump here a little bit. I had a very cool email the other day from somebody who rewrote the lyrics to Kodachrome, and the content is about my Samsonite suitcases. And it's very good and very cleverly done, and I will perform it that night. So I'll tell you a little bit more about that. But thank you guys so much. God bless you all, and I hope you had a nice, just a chance. What we try to do is just to find an hour where we can just shake off all of the nonsense and just roll our shoulders back and have a moment with God. So I'm privileged to be able to spend this time with you all. Everybody out there, have a lovely night. Well, thank you. So we'll see you on Wednesday night. God bless everybody. Good night.